So, what'd you think about this Machida-Anders fight, man?
I hated it the minute I saw it announced.
Really?
And look, I don't like to criticize some of these people are personal friends of mine, but I thought that was a horrible decision from the start. I think the UFC is struggling to find headliners right now, and you get a kid like Eryk Anders who can legitimately start to pull away mainstream sports fans to watch the UFC and watch this incredible athlete. Why you match him up? He's got a very small amount of fights. You're going to match him up against somebody as savvy and tricky as Lyoto Machida that early in a headliner in Brazil? What are you thinking? I don't agree with that decision. Eryk Anders should have been at the Super Bowl yesterday, doing Radio Row and days leading up to it, coordinating with people from Fox, shooting videos, getting more eyeballs on him as an athlete to showcase to these mainstream sports fans that the athletes in the UFC are that caliber now, and build him up. You don't need to have him fight a guy. You see Ngannou, they push too fast. They're pushing this guy too fast. They're not pushing Stipe enough. Again, it's easy to armchair quarterback these things. But I thought that decision to me was just one of those things where, man, you're stretching. Let this kid develop, and he will turn into something. And eventually he's going to have to fight all the best guys. But I thought Lyoto Machida that's way too soon for a kid that young.
Listen, I think Anders is going to learn a lot from this fight. He did go 5 rounds, but I agree with you. They're pushing guys a little bit too much. But based on what you just said, I'm not going to ask you about the Shevchenko fight. But,
oh, my God.
But listen, man, I agree with you. Listen, you look like people like Sage Northcutt and Paige Van Zandt, these other people, that they're pushing too quickly. I've been saying this for a long time. Develop these guys. Develop them. Put them in the right fights. Obviously Machida so much more experienced than Anders. So, yeah, it was a kind of an odd decision. But he did at least go 5 hard rounds.
Oh, there's no doubt the kid's potential. I mean, if he was going to lose a fight, that's the way to do it. You don't want it to be a fight where he gets knocked out or he takes any damage. But a situation like that, he did learn a lot from. And I understand the counter argument, right? If you're the fighter that's not getting pushed, not getting marketed, I get your argument. I get that you hate when the UFC may protect guys, but you have to understand, at the end of the day, this is a business. And this exists to make money, and that's how you get paid. And if you're not somebody who can generate that kind of interest and that kind of viewership and get people to turn the dial and watch you fight, then you need to find a way to do that. And don't complain when you get guys that and women that can do that. They're going to get pushed. And it behooves the UFC, to slow them down and let them progress so you can really get eyeballs, on the screens and get a great TV deal.
I just want to say one thing on that. Eryk Anders called out Lyoto Machida, Bry, in his post-fight interview. Now, promotionally, we love when these guys do the matchmaking for us, right? Yeah. But is the criticism is there criticism also to be levied at Team Anders, right?
Yes.
For wanting this fight right now? I mean,
John, you bring up such a great point. I wasn't aware of that.
Yes,
so
I still got it, bro. Still got
it. And I'll tell you, I've said this for a long time. You've heard me say this. The managers in MMA, right? We are not talking about high-level employees here, right? I don't know who his manager is, so, I know.
It's actually somebody who you really respect and like a lot, Jason House.
It is a guy, yeah. They've got to learn to protect these guys, right? They don't have extensive business backgrounds, right? They've never before this job actually built a brand from scratch up to being a profitable business. And every one of these athletes is their own brand. And you've got to protect us from ourselves. I mean, we'll fight anybody at any given time. I was, I can't tell you how many times I wanted to fight so-and-so on this date. And I had a manager who would basically say, no, this kid's not ready for that. And maybe he wouldn't tell me that because he didn't want to ruin my confidence. But when he communicated to Joe Silva, he would make sure that Joe Silva knew that and said, look, I don't think this is right for Brian at the time. Because I never turned a fight down. But I'm sure those conversations happen. And you've got to build. I mean, these kids, they have such a short window to make as much money as they can, as fast as they can, and for as long as they can. And if you push them too quick and you shorten that timeline, that window that they can fight in, and they make less money, that's what they're depending on for the rest of their lives, right? Yeah. You guess what? You don't make a whole lot of money. And Kenny's, dealing with this now in the most expensive area of the country. But you don't make a whole lot of money when you open up your own gym. And try and make a living and live off that. You better be really good at running that business if that's your retirement plan as an athlete, or you end up like me and have a completely second career where you've got to go get an MBA and you've got to invest a lot of money in what is going to be your second career.
Good stuff there, Bri. Do you have 30 seconds to give me a lean on Luke Rockhold and Yoel Romero? Rockhold right now minus 140, Romero plus 110.
God, I'll tell you what, that is a tough one. You know, I think that I have a hard time, you know, I need to see that Luke Rockhold's chin can hold up to a guy who punches as hard as Romero, and I think you're going to see Romero be very cautious. Knowing his gas tank is what it is, we're going to see a more cautious Romero, and I think it's essential that Luke Rockhold attack him to the body early. But I could see Romero, you know, he strikes, man, like lightning. I could see that happening inside of the first 2 rounds and maybe catching Luke. Although I think that Luke is by far the better fighter. Luke's one of the best athletes overall in the UFC. He's such a complete fighter, and it's just unfortunate that he's taken some shots, and hopefully we could see his chin hold up again. But I could see Romero catching him.
Well, Stann, you are in a good mood, my friend. You know, that's why I threw a little shot at you. You know, I know if he's going to kill me, it's not going to be today. He's in a great mood. And obviously, because the Philadelphia Eagles won. Congratulations, my friend.
Dude, honestly, I remember thinking to myself many times, if just once in my lifetime, this team that I have sat down and watched every play of every game since being a child could win a Super Bowl, just once in my lifetime. It was incredible. I mean, look, I proposed to my wife on the 50-yard line of their stadium.
Wow.
One of my closest friends in the world who was killed in Fallujah, the last time I saw him was in that stadium when we went to an Eagles game together after my first deployment before he went on his second deployment. So just there's a lot of special things wrapped around that, and just not to mention the shit you take for being an Eagles fan on a day-to-day basis. Everybody just loves to hate on the Eagles, and for whatever reason, last night most of America wanted to cheer for him.
Yeah.
But what a game! I mean, Doug Peterson, for 2 straight games, out-coached defensive-minded coaches. I mean, I think he's something special. And Nick Foles played lights out. It was amazing.
Well, you guys won the game. You beat the New England Patriots to make it that much sweeter, and you beat John Anik in a bet.
Yes. So aren't we glad we didn't do earrings, John?
Dude, I'll go get some diamond studs right now. I mean, you know, and if you guys want, you could just play that Take a Stand intro so we don't have to talk about it. You just play that on rip. So, yeah, no, we're not getting our ears pierced. Did you flake on the bet? Is that accurate, or is that not the right verb?
No, I think that is absolutely the right verb. You know, when I let that settle after I concocted the bet, and I realized, you know, if I lose this and I have to show up at my office, I've got to fly to Chicago to see my office there. I've got class weekend this week at Kellogg. I've got a massive meeting with my board in Morgan Stanley next week. I mean, having an earring in is probably not a good idea for me right now. However, having John Anik have to fly to Atlanta and wash my car and my bathrooms in a Nick Foles jersey, that's a great idea.
Can we add some jean shorts with that? Maybe like little frayed jean shorts. Play Warrant's Cherry Pie in the background as he washes the car in slow-mo.
My wife has her old cheerleading booty shorts, and she told me last night that is what John's
He's so pissed. Brian, I don't know if you can see. He's so pissed right now. It's insane. He's genuinely angry.
All right, I'll wear the fucking shorts. I'll wear the Foles jersey. Of course, he lives in like a 10-bedroom, 8-bathroom home. So I got to wash like 8 bathrooms, detail the guy's car.
Yeah, do all the cars. All the cars.
And I got to fly to Atlanta between now and the end of next year's Super Bowl, which is in Atlanta. So it might take me a year to get there, but I'll make good on the bet. So
hey, at least you didn't get your legs waxed in some shady place in Kansas that we found that was the only place that would actually do a guy's legs.
Yeah. Well, I got to get on a plane, but at least it's not to Perth. It's just a one hopper to Atlanta. So for a guy like you last night, I know it's a school night, right? And maybe they could make this a national holiday at some point in time. But, I mean, a little brown liquor to celebrate. I mean, what does the greatest living American do when his Philadelphia Eagles come through for the first time in his lifetime?
You know what? You know, there was I was emotional. I reflected on it, but I didn't do anything crazy. I mean, I had work the next day. I had a hard time sleeping. I got up this morning at 4:40 a.m. to go to the gym and get a sick workout in. for me, I think the celebration is going to last for a solid 7 months, to be quite honest. So I didn't need to go all out last night, but I will be celebrating this for a long time. It was great. I watched it with a bunch of good people. Everybody was going crazy. I mean, the intensity of the game, and the big piece too is being in a location where you actually watch the game and you're not surrounded by people that are there just there socializing and gossiping and who want to see the commercials and not the game. That's what I'm grateful for. I was with people who were really into the game, and we were all on the edge of our seats just going crazy. And for us to win when Tom Brady throws for over 500 yards, who would have thought? If you'd have told me he was going to throw for over 500 yards and you would have said, hey, do you think you'll still win? No way.
Yeah, right. No, I thought Tom played great, really. I mean, all right, man, thank you very much. We'll let you get out of here. I know they're celebrating on the streets of Scranton, Pennsylvania and beyond. We congratulate you and all of Philadelphia Eagles Nation. And when I come to clean your bathrooms and wash your car, just send the golf cart out to the gate. Keep the Audi in the driveway, okay? Just send the golf cart out to the gate, and I'll come do your shit, okay?
Make sure he vacuums that inside. Make sure he vacuums those little spots in the front of the car there, you know, where the candy gets.
Definitely. I'll send you pictures of him in those booty shorts, Kenny.
Good. Perfect.
You're the best, buddy. Thank you.
Thanks, man.
See you guys.